I've got one of the members from the New Zealand Brain Trust here with us. Shane Jurgensen is in charge of the bowling department. Shane, thanks for being with us today. Obviously, things are not looking very good, but some of the quicker bowlers might like the weather today.
Yeah, they'll be certainly happy after a bit of a shock to the body yesterday. First time in a while we've had a test match or a red ball game. So yeah, a few of the boys are a bit sore and sorry for themselves today after obviously the World Cup. So yeah, it was a good head out yesterday for them.
I'll come back to that in a minute. Some of these New Zealand boys have not been here before. Obviously, you have been here before a few times apparently, but how do you address them before you come to a country that they have never been before?
I think although some of them haven't really come to actually Sri Lanka, a few of them have been to, say, for example, in October last year we played the UAE, Pakistan and the UAE. So similar sort of conditions, obviously with the heat, a lot more humid here. So I think it's about preparation. The guys that weren't involved in the World Cup, they did have some specific preparation in our high performance facility in Christchurch, in the Marquee we call it. Can get hot in there. So I think it's all about accepting the challenge in front of you and try your best to combat, the heat and the conditions and obviously the pitch.
Yeah, now obviously you didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this series coming up from the World Cup, obviously, and many congratulations, by the way, on your performance at the World Cup. And obviously it's having been unnoticed by the whole world. And so you are coming from England, but England was a quite hot summer, obviously. But like you said, in preparation to your application, to your how you apply yourself, how you prepare yourself, how do you talk to the bowlers when you come to, especially, and on top of that, a change of format as well?
Yeah.
And how do you work with these boys when you come to those departments?
Yeah, for us, we're very lucky. We've got although we've got some players that have been here for the first time, we've got quite an experienced playing group and also within our support staff. So I think it's all about coming back to, with red ball format, you're coming back to really good basics, and that's your foundation. So, with the bat, we're looking to bat for long periods and get through tough periods, which there certainly will be. And then with the ball, there'll be certainly tough periods, like we came across yesterday for a period of time, because the opposition we're playing here, the Sri Lankan 11, were played really well. So it's all about getting back to those basics and creating good pressure towards the opposition with the bat and the ball in the field. So it's just doing that again and just with, say for my department, the bowling, being as accurate as possible. Then we've got to make those necessary adjustments throughout the game. So that's the difference of the 5-day game. It can change so quickly and also throughout 5 days of the game. So making those little adjustments with our fields, the way that we bowl and the way that we attack the opposition.
Obviously, you must be having quite a few hands when it comes to the fitness department and the medical department as well. How do you cope up with that, with the workload and the heat, like you just mentioned, particularly when you come to faster bowlers? And it's quite safe to say that some of the quicker bowlers have not been brought here, obviously after the workload at World Cup. And you've got some experience in the fast bowling department when it comes to Tim Southee, Wagner and Trent Boult, but you've got some new spinners as well.
Yeah.
And coming to Sri Lanka to bowl on these tracks. And tell us a bit about that.
The guys there, yeah, as you say, like Tim and Trent and Neil have been, firmly established in the Test team for quite some time now, and they've got the experiences. They know what to expect. So that's really, that's gold in terms of, it gives you the opportunity to understand what you're about to face. And our spinners, most of them went to the UAE last year, so they're a little bit, they're not young. They may not have played a lot, but including Will Somerville. It's his birthday today. He's nicknamed Dad sometimes because he's obviously not one of the younger boys. He's one of the older boys in the team. But I think although they have a lot of experience. So what our support staff do is they do a great job. We've got Tommy Simsek, former physio for Sri Lanka, very familiar with Sri Lankan conditions, and then Chris Donaldson, our trainer, who's just does anything and everything for the boys to get them ready on match day. So I think things that he does on match day, make sure they're hydrated, ice bars post game or post bowling for the bowlers, and all little things going into the day. So I think if you can try and eliminate, or not eliminate, but say, for example, make sure that you're well prepared on the day. And I think that's one thing, as a team, the boys are really professional around that area, is making sure on the game day they're well hydrated, they've had their food, and all those little things that they do that I actually have most of the time no idea about, because that's a trainer, he does that. So it's all those little things as well, that experience.
Yeah, and also when it comes to the conditions, like I just mentioned before that you've been in England for some time, and now you're back in Sri Lanka. In a couple of months, you'll be back in Australia. So totally different conditions. After all, it's like a horse running on a wet track to a dry track to a synthetic. So, do you actually discuss about some of these tactics when it comes to the faster bowlers or the spinners? How you maintain the ball, and in order to keep have some reverse swing later, and you practice those skills. It's part of your preparation, obviously, these days.
Yeah, certainly, and I think that's what we aim to do. That's my role as a bowling coach, is for the fast bowlers and the spinners, and certainly there's deliveries that we bowl in New Zealand that we would not bowl here, and there's deliveries that we'll bowl here that we wouldn't really need to bowl in New Zealand. So it purely comes down to your adjustments and your ability to adapt to the pitch and the conditions that are in front of you. And I think that's one of the things that we try to do as a team as quickly as we can, to try and get ahead of the opposition and make those little adjustments throughout the game.
I just want to hit you on one thing. You just mentioned about Somerville's birthday, and we had a birthday yesterday, and it's news all over the world.
Yes.
Your skipper, Kane Williamson, is such a gentleman he is. And how did you face the boys after he came to the dressing room?
Yeah, it was an international cake day yesterday. Kane had cake over at deep mid wicket here, and then we came off the field and he had cake in the dressing room. Then we got to the hotel and he had cake there waiting for him. And I heard a rumour this morning there was a cake in his hotel room. And so yeah, he's certainly sick of cake at the moment. And maybe that one's been passed on to Will Somerville, who's his birthday today. I think he turned 42. So no, I'm only joking. But I think another birthday today. So yeah, it's nice to have those little things happening for the team. It's sort of creates a little bit of distraction away from obviously the pressures and preparing for a test match.
Yeah, just don't want to dig into your inside preparation, but how difficult, obviously, you said that these faster bowlers are experienced and even some spinners are younger guys. How is it to make the switch from the white ball to red ball? There is a myth that red ball or the white ball does not swing like the red ball, or vice versa in some conditions. Yeah. And how do you manage that with the bowlers?
Oh, I think it's certainly, the red ball certainly the ball has an opportunity more to swing, and I think it's purely comes down to conditions. I'd like to think in Sri Lanka it's quite humid here, it can be, and hopefully there might be a little bit of swing for our opening bowlers. And I think it's all about making sure that, there's always opportunities to make those adjustments through the white and the red ball. So yeah, we always prefer the ball to be swinging. So if we can get that ball to swing, that's certainly what we'll be trying to do. And I think for us also is that it's all about making adjustments in lines. And it's amazing sometimes some deliveries you actually do have to bowl all over the world. So it may be the bouncers or it may be Yorkers, and it's purely then comes down to, I suppose, what our scouting that we do on particular batters and making sure that we can execute those plans on the day.
Let's come back to the performances from yesterday. Are you happy with the workout that the bowlers had yesterday?
Oh, I think it's a really good. The boys are upstairs giving me some cheek here. Be quiet. So I think our performance yesterday. Well, I think we knew that we probably have bowled better, but at the same time, it's we realise it's our first hit out with a red ball for a very long time. So there were certainly some great parts yesterday. AJ's bowled really well. I was quite happy with our spinners, and even at times our seamers. As I said, it's their first hit out, so it was a good start. And to get the cobwebs out, but at the same time there was some really good stuff that happened yesterday. So I think as the rest of this game, hopefully we'll get on today, but it doesn't look good at the moment. Then we've got tomorrow, and then we've got our preparation leading into the Gaul test. It will be really important to prepare accordingly.
Obviously, you must be knowing a thing or two about the track at Gaul, and it's a happy hunting ground for the Sri Lankans. It has been for years, and normally it's not rumour anymore. It's out and about. It's going to turn and bounce, and there's quick turn and loose soil on top. And some of the test matches have not gone the distance in the last few years. So, how do you talk to the boys about? Obviously, it's a few days to go, but you will take whatever you can from this outing. And Are you already talking to the boys about the match in few days, or?
What we sort of have a very simple but quite a specific routine for most games and leading into a series. So I think our first point of discussion or preparation is our game here. So we've got 2 games to go here. Hopefully we'll get on today and our finish off the batters, and then our batters can have a good opportunity to have a good hit out. And I think that's part one. You can never get enough practice in the middle, so I think that's really vital for us. If we can have some time in the middle, it'll be very good. And then obviously, we head down to Gaul. We do our homework on the ground there, and I think these days it's very good that we can get a lot of information at various cricket grounds around the world and have a bit of background on the history of what happens at these venues. So that's certainly something that we'll discuss leading into the game, both from an individual player viewpoint and also tactically for the overall team.
One final question, Shano. I think it's not a secret around the world that it's a very happy dressing room when it comes to the Kiwis. What's the secret?
Yeah, you can tell now they're still yelling at me being cheeky upstairs, but I think for us, we've got a lot of respect for each other in the room and respect for everyone's roles in the side, and I think it's something that with success and the way that we have our environment and the culture, is a lot of the boys really enjoy each other's company, and it's just all the little things. And I think what I really love about New Zealand is that everyone really cares for each other, and I think that's a really good starting point. And I think when you have those things and the respect for everyone in the room, I think that just creates a really good base or a foundation to grow from. And I think with the success we've had on the field, that's also given that sort of method confidence. And I think that's sort of one of the things that you can hear right now up there. They're probably playing soccer volleyball in the dressing room, or having more cake.
Talking to some of the boys, they were saying that we don't mind rain tomorrow around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because the All Blacks Wallabies game at 4 o'clock local time. So they are looking forward for rain in the afternoon. But thank you very much for sharing some information, and thank you very much for spending some time with us, and all the very best for your future endeavours.
Thank you very much. Thanks.